Hi guys, this is Aaron and I play Magic way too much. Okay, this is the second one on Arlinn Kord. I want to talk about the best deck I've made, and it's doing really good. When I see the quick battle results, I'll tell you how many I've won in a row, but it's about 15 in a row. And I'm going to kind of tell you how I went through the process of using my different cards. First, obviously with her abilities, which I can't show you right now, you want to have werewolves, so you want to just have as many as you can. And so my first deck, I had all werewolves, like every single one I could find that was reasonable. And in the last one, I kind of went through the good ones and bad ones. And this was one that I really liked, but I had to remove it from my deck because it just cost too much. And with the werewolves, I'm actually adding to their, with a couple different cards, I am making them more powerful quickly because this is one card that's obviously in there. And when a creature you control transforms, that creature gets 2/2. And so it wasn't worth 15 when I could play 8 and then 7 for that one, and that's going to make it bigger over time. Even with this one, if I can add a 2/2, it makes it just bigger over time. So just that 15 was too high. I did actually keep in Sage of Ancient Lore, and for a while I took him out actually, and I really didn't like him because he cost so much. But using the the first ability on the second side, you can transform him and get 5/5 every turn. So I did like it overall, and I did keep it. But I want to kind of show you some other things. At first, actually, I like 3 creatures in my deck because if you have 4 or 5, they just get jammed up, and eventually, if the game's long, you're going to end up throwing away some creatures. But these 2 at the top are my favorites. And then I added, because it was kind of slow, I added Jory for a while. Jory goes in all my red decks. And then I kind of determined that because of the werewolf stuff, I would take her out. And I kept in Sage of Ancient Lore. But that was part of my thinking, was I needed to speed up the deck. And in keeping it speeded up, I did add Tomio's Journal. So, and because I did need more cards, because, with something like this, and kept this too, Inner Struggle, you need cards that are going to kill your opponent's creatures. And you need to have more than just one card a turn. Because you figure you have 10 cards, you have a 10% chance of drawing a card. Well, you need a 20% chance of drawing that kill creature card. Speaking of that, I had Scour from Existence in my deck quite a bit. And then I ended up taking them out just because there wasn't room. And there's Inner Struggle I didn't put on this list, but I took them out too. Just some other key cards. Sure Strike goes in most of my red decks. Just didn't have room this time. It's just not the right card for this deck. The only way to get Berserker, which is when Sure Strike really matters, just isn't as reliable as we want. Another thing, I was thinking I would add this because it just kind of is a fun card. I think it should go in a lot of green decks, but it's just not right for this deck. I do want to speed up my hand, and I have cards in here like Fertile Thicket, which speeds up your hand, Nisa, which speeds up your hand, and that's what was really powerful about green, is that you can really get some cards to make it go fast. Here's another one that makes it go fast. You get a red and green crystal or a gem every time, but I actually didn't have room for this, so I took that out too. But again, these are kind of the cards I'm thinking about, and this is kind of why I'm thinking about them. Here's another one. You read this and it just sounds perfect. While the support's on the board, each wolf and werewolf you control gets 1/1 trample. And you're like, okay, all my cards are going to have 1/1 trample. And for 3, it's the automatic 1/1. It's a no-brainer until there's just not room and it's not powerful enough. I mean, 1/1 just doesn't make the difference between a win and a loss. And it's just not the card you want. I'd rather have, that's like, at first I thought it would go in there for sure, but I'd rather have... So even something like True Face Sensor that's going to, kill their creatures because it's attacking mine, which is actually similar to that 1/1 we saw earlier. But it just, again, this didn't work either. And it just wasn't the right card, but it just wasn't powerful enough. This is a card I got today. I just finished the event, I didn't finish the event, it's over in a day or so, but I got my 150. And when this creature enters the battlefield, all your werewolves get 3/3, and that's beautiful. Oh my goodness, I would pay 12 for this, especially being a rare. But 18, no, especially when it's not even a werewolf itself. It came out at a 9/9. I mean, I don't make the cards, and that one doesn't make the cut. Okay, so, and then I actually had a 9-card combination. This actually first 9 cards, you can see the 8 here is there for the obvious reasons. I didn't talk about this but I actually need 2 cards that are going to kill creatures, and so Inner Struggle and Firecraft are my 2 there. Demolish should go in all your red decks. One of the huge advantages of red is that you can kill those supports. So it was really a battle for this last spot. And like I said, I actually chose Sage. I had a little better luck with Sage. It just felt better in the deck than anything else. Low battery. So Seasons Past was actually one of the cards I threw in there for a little while. And Seasons Past did really well. It doesn't do that well. I mean, it's like you save up 20, and there's a few cards like this. You save up 20 to get about 20 or maybe even 25 in the future. But if you're saving up 20, let's say that takes 3 turns, well, you might have had a 4/4 creature out there for 2 of those turns, then another 4/4 creature for a 1 turn, right? So you had cast a 4/4 creature 2 turns ago and 1 last turn, and you're casting them later because you save the 20 to get the 20 after 3 turns. Well, that's costing you 12 damage. The first one attacks twice, the second one attacks once. So it really wasn't the card for me in this deck, and it's a good card. And Nissa's Revolution is kind of like that too. So I'm going to get rid of that. And actually, I'm going to turn off battery saver there. I think it might slow down the video. So back to the deck. So here it is. These are my 10 cards. I've kind of gone over it. I'm going to save that deck. So now, Arlinn Kord, we can talk about the abilities in a second. I'm going to go to quick battle, actually, and we're going to talk about it as we go. I'm not there yet. So I started, I think it was 24 wins, and now I'm at 39. So I've had 15 wins, and haven't had any losses with this deck. It's not one of my favorites. I don't really know why. I think it kind of is slow and clunky. It just doesn't have, maybe it's just not a wow factor. Obviously I've won 15 in a row. I'm not complaining about the deck. I actually think the deck is pretty good. I think Arlinn so I'm matching red and green. I think that Arlinn I should have looked at my cards first. A lot of the events is going to be fantastic. I really should have looked at my cards first. But it just doesn't, it's kind of clunky. I don't know what to say about that. So we will see what happens here. I got off to a beautiful start. So I don't even want to cast that. I will do that in that order. And we're going red and green with red as a priority. And let's do that. Well, so here is a perfect example of, I need a kill creature card, and I need, there's only 1 card in my deck that will actually do what I need, and I hope I get it. So that's the bottom line. So they're going off red. I'm even going to hurt my support a little bit, so they get slowed down a little bit. And that's one thing about her too, is that she does her abilities, which we haven't looked at too much. They add to, you can add 4/4. Oh, good, I drew Inner Struggle. See, that's perfect. They add 4/4 to an existing creature, so that doesn't get you out of a jam, and fetch an ex-werewolf. So you can kind of go 9, then 6 on 2 different turns, and that's okay. And this last ability, gain 4/4. If you have 2 creatures out there, it's an obvious thing, because you, instead of getting 4/4 twice, paying 6 and 6, you can just get it there. So let's put this as the order. I don't think I'm going to get 14, so I'm not going to unlock that other one. So I'm looking for red and green. Red first. Perfect. That got me out of the jam. You have to have some kill creature cards. At least 1. I like 2. You've kind of seen the 2 I have. The other thing about this is that it's a +6. And when I say it's a +6, I'm looking here. And, if you add up the bottom numbers, +6. So if I'm playing against another +6, it's kind of even. This is a +5. But a lot of the dual colors are actually +8. I think the red-white one's +8. I know I think +9 Koth is +9. Okay, so I'm looking for red and green, and there's red to get me 6. I'm actually going to not release that yet. I don't like to put my supports out early if they're not going to be used that turn, because if right there they just blew up a batch of a 3x3 batch, I might have lost one of the counters on there. So it's really important to me to watch that. So, and then here I'm going to get out as many different creatures as I can. Do I already have Tomios out there? That's not mine. I do. There's only one counter on there, so I'm not going to discard that. So I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. I need to make sure I get some mana out. And I only see that as my match. So what I've been doing in general is if I can get, see, there's how the synergy in this deck, and that's the key. It's not about having rares and all that stuff, which aren't bad, but it's about having some synergy. I'm going to try to get a few creatures out there before I do that third ability, and that's going to get out. Good, I thought that froze on me for a second. Okay, that's going to get out my second creature. And now when I do that third ability, it's going to give me +8/8, which will be nice. And then I'll show you the second side of her, and I really like the second side. It works pretty well. I like the abilities over there a little better than these abilities, which we just looked at a second ago. This Red Devil is a wonderful card. I wish I had it. I don't. And, yeah. We can all wish, right? They're actually going to take a big toll on me here. I'm so glad the game goes faster now. It just is a big difference. Makes videos a little better, I think, only because they don't take as long for this kind of silly stuff. I obviously need a turn against. I need 2 turns against. So they keep bringing out this Red Devil, so I must have missed some cards. Well, this is a great example of, I am so brain dead right now. There is the card where you just keep bringing back those red spells. So, and yeah, they blew it up in all their workings. Okay, so here we are. I am going to speed up my deck as much as I can. I am going to try to be able to do some damage when I can. I need to draw as many cards as I can quickly, and I don't have the journal out there. That's going to be put on the back burner. I need to get 2 spaces open. Now there's 2 spaces open. Okay, and I also am going to do this to bump up, to transform them, and that'll make it so I can do some damage. And so now we need to look at green and red. I don't see any red, and there's my green. Okay, this is going to be interesting, guys. So this is going to be interesting. That's not a bad card for me. I don't mind that at all. So I have 2 more turns. They're doing 27 damage to me each time, and I'm only drawing 1 card. So what I'm going to do is match a, well, there's no good red matches, and then the green matches are kind of average here. That doesn't do any good right now. I actually don't think I can win this. Especially since they can do 4 damage, even if I can do something crazy to stop the bleeding. Them doing 4 damage a turn is going to hurt me here. And, okay. Well, maybe I'll post this, maybe I won't. My first loss. But here is nice because you transform the target werewolf. And actually this one, they have Berserker right now. So that's actually what I want. So I don't want to transform that. And that one, when I transform it, it's going to go down in value. So that's not going to help me at all. But I am going to... what am I going to do here? Well, this actually might be okay. So I'm going to... Okay. I'm going to match red. I'm going to do 6 damage there. All my guys are going to get Berserker. Yeah, this isn't going to quite work. And that's going to kill my first one. And... oh, he's flying, so that didn't do it. And it killed my second one. Okay, well, there's a loss, guys. A little background noise for you, too. And that's not how you lose Arlinn Kord. And that's actually... it just didn't go smooth, right? It didn't go according to plan. And that's one reason I don't like it as much. Is just it doesn't have some of the flexibility that some of the other planeswalkers do. Well, a couple hiccups in that video, including the power. And they can't win them all. Thanks, guys. Bye.